Sorry. Sorry about that. I'll show you what I did. So this looks really weird. It probably was not what you were expecting at all. But these are actually very easy to solve because they give you a tool to solve them. And let me just show you. Oops, that's the wrong thing. That's the answers to your quiz. But you're going to be able to find all of them really easily, and I'll show you how. So if you hover over the calculator and go to the right, there's a tool that's really useful. And it's this calculator. It's called Desmos Calculator. Um, the thing I don't like about it, their like implementation of it, is that it's really small. So what I actually do, and I recommend doing it. You don't have to, but this is again, you just hover over it and click this, and it will come up, and it will come up with the Desmos graphing calculator. I have about 15 of them open. Um, but I like and by the way, this was my class. This is a different class, so it's not, there's nothing to do with your class, but it still has that calculator, right? So anyways, I recommend going to this website, desmos.com, and you get the full screen effect, and it's a lot easier to type stuff in. Okay, so actually all you're going to do here, and I'll show you how to do it, and I know the mouse clicks are annoying, and I'm sorry, but so anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply input this equation, but don't put the equals 0 in, okay, just put the equation in. So the way that I do that, it's x, and if I want a 3 up here, you use this button and hit 3, and then the thing is you got to click down sometimes, because if you don't click down, then you get like, you get stuff up here, and you don't want it, you want to go back down, hit the minus sign, 8x squared, and then I'm going to do plus 17x, and then minus 10. Okay, so now what I want to do is, and you can zoom in, I just did this with my trackpad or mouse or whatever, but you can zoom in using these. And actually, let me just zoom out so we can see them all. So the answers to this are, believe it or not, just click on the axis, and I've got 1, 0. So that's my answer. I'm just going to write the answers down to this one. My first answer is x equals 1. It hits the x-axis right there, so it's a 0, the solution to the equation. And then there's the next one, it's 2. And then you can probably guess that the next one is going to be positive, and it is, it's 5. Okay, so there's my answer, and my answer is B. Okay, and honestly, that's how you do it. That's how they want you to do it, is by graphing. And it's it's pretty simple once you can get the program down. So I'm gonna do one more of these, and then I'm gonna do one more, and I for some reason cannot scroll down. My God, wow. Well, let me just. So weird. I was just able to do it like 2 seconds ago. There we go. Okay, so here's the next one. And oh, sorry, I'm really sorry. Okay, so there's the next one. Let me delete this one. So again, the next one is actually the same exact thing, and you have about 9 of these to do. Sorry about the microphone. You have about 9 of these. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing. X, and then here, and then 3, and click down because it didn't go down right away. Minus 9x squared. Okay, plus 20x minus 12. And notice I don't put the equals 0 here because I'm graphing the whole function and I'm just finding where the function equals 0. I don't need that. I'm looking at the equation and I can see where it equals 0, so I don't need this equal sign. Okay, so I typed in my equation and it looks like I have 1, 0. That's where it hits the x-axis. 2, 0 is the next place where it hits, and 6, 0. So I've got, for question number, I think this is 2, I don't know, it could be wrong. But it looks like x equals 1, 2, and 6. And so they're all positive, and it looks like it's got to be D. Okay? And again, it's crazy, but once you get good at using this, that's how you do it, honestly. Okay? This last one, man, this thing. It's not letting me go down. I wish it did. Oh, see, like now suddenly it does. Okay. Um, so anyways, this last question is weird. And the reason why it's weird is because, well, it's just weird. This is one that I said I got wrong, and I got wrong. I got it wrong because I put a 9 instead of an 8. So that's why I got it wrong. Why it was so confusing. Anyways, so I'm not gonna really read the whole thing, but basically what it is average cost of tuition is Y, and what we do is we put in X, and we get out the average cost of tuition. That's what this equation gives us. And then they tell us, this is what's kind of weird. They tell us that X equals 0 corresponds to 1990. So that's going to mean that if X equals 0 corresponds to 1990, then that means that the average tuition in 1990 was 2196, because this would all zero out. And that's why this problem is so weird. Now then they ask, well, when is the average going to reach 4,000? So actually what we're going to do here is, in order to find this, we're going to need to put 4,000 in for Y, right? And then what we need to do after that is we need to actually subtract it. And so I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract from 2196, subtract 4,000. And the reason why I'm doing that is because we want when the average tuition is 4,000, right? We know that when this zeroes out, we're at 1990, right? So we want our output to be 4,000, but this right here, this 2196, that is represents the average tuition in 1990. If we were looking for the average tuition in a year later than 1990, and we were looking for a specific tuition, like 4,000, that would be the output. So basically what I'm trying to do, and this is why it's really confusing, is I'm trying to find, right, the average tuition in terms of like 1990. And so you see what I'm going to do. Basically what I do here is I do exactly what we were doing. And I'm going to, now make sure I get this right, because, so 0.024x to the 4, and these are really complicated equations. This is what I got wrong last time. So I got to remember to look at the numbers. So I already screwed up, right? I didn't do the x. You can hit the backspace here, right, and it'll take it away. X, you're probably like already better at this than I am, but anyways. And then plus 9.6, and then it's going to be x squared, and then plus, jeez, this is long, God, 87.2x, and no wonder I screwed this up. And then finally, this is going to be our last term, because we wanted it in terms of 1990. We know that 1990 is 2196, so if we're getting it in terms of 1990, we want our output to be 4,000. Okay, so here's why. Let me zoom out, and you should see. Yep. Okay, there we go. So what this is showing us, and it looks like I actually did it right this time, right? It's showing us 14.228. So the weird part about this is that remember that we were finding this in terms of 1990, right? So if we're finding it in terms of 1990, what we have to do here is basically say, well, okay, 0 is 1990. So if this is 14.228 beyond 0, then we're going to add 1990 and 4.228, and we're going to get 2004. And that's the point at which the tuition is going to reach 4,000. And again, it's really weird because we're finding the tuition in terms of 1990. So the 0 here represents how many years past 1990 we are. This is very confusing, and it's why I did it. So this is going to be, the answer is D, 2004. And I did this because it's really confusing. If you get another one like this, try to follow the same logic, but it's, yeah.